G'day. I just want to have a quick chat about reamping guitars and bass guitars, even MIDI instruments from your session using a ReAmp pedal. It's a great tool to have in the home studio and gives you all sorts of creative options. I'm Mark Lowry. I'm a musician and audio engineer, and I run a studio in my home. Often when I'm recording a band live, because I've only got a small room, it's not 30 foot, 40 foot high ceilings and 100 feet long or anything, it's a bedroom. I can get a drummer and two or three other musicians in there reasonably comfortably, but if they're all in there with amplifiers blaring away, the spill is ridiculous. It's unmanageable. So to help manage that, I will have the bass guitar will generally DI, and they can hear the DI back through their headphones. And the guitar amps, I will move those into another room and mic them in those spaces, and then they can hear that back through their headphones as well. So the only sound in the room will be drums and potentially a vocalist if one of the musicians is the singer as well. I can move the vocalist into another area if that helps. Post the session, I then have, if I've taken a DI of the guitars and the bass, I then have the flexibility of reamping them. And I often, especially with bass, I will reamp it to get an amp track as well. And for guitars, recently I did a session and I wasn't particularly happy with the guitar amp sound. So I cut those solos out of the DI track and set up an amp in the room downstairs and put 3 mics on it and tweaked the overdrive effect to get the sound I wanted for the solo. I wouldn't have had that flexibility if I didn't have a DI or a ReAmp box. It's a fairly simple activity. You just run an output. So look at this guitar track. You run an output from your DAW through your interface, and then you run a balanced cable from your interface into the ReAmp box, and then a guitar lead for the high Z output back through your effect pedals and into your amp. So the DI sounds like that, but after I've reamped it, so that DI signal goes through that box, through an overdrive pedal and into the amp, and I've got 3 microphones, as you can see the 3 tracks there, 2 close mics and a room mic, and it sounds like that. A much better result compared to the way the sound of the guitar was originally. And also with the bass, I can, for example, this is the bass DI. And the reamped bass signal, which is that DI track, run through the ReAmp box into the bass amp and then mic'd, recorded back. Sounds the DI. And the bass amp. I mean, that's a much better sound overall than the DI on its own. And then you treat that bass amp and DI track together separately, not at all, just one or the other, whatever you normally do. but it just gives you the flexibility of bringing that additional source into your session. I'm using the bottom end of the DI and the bite and crispness of the amp as the top end, and then blending those. Yeah, I think that, and then you can also use these for MIDI instruments. You run using the same process. You run your MIDI out through one of these into a guitar distortion pedal or just a guitar amp or whatever it is you want to do to explore other ways of creating your own sounds. Great creative instrument and a must for any home studio, really. Knowing that you can DI a lot of stuff and then ReAmp it later when you've got nothing else in the room. I think there's a great option. Yeah, so get one of those. Hope you got something out of that. Like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and hope to see you another time.